Stop recording. Button. Press search plus space.
Hi, Connie Love here. This is the first part of me and Alex's story. Alexandria, as you know from watching my other videos, is my daughter which has cerebral palsy. I started noticing really weird stuff when I was pregnant with Alexandria. A lot of stuff was different than things that had normally happened before I got pregnant. I got pregnant with Alexandria when I was 42. And I was pregnant. I lived in a 2-bedroom apartment with an attic in Ohio by myself. Her father, well, I'm not going to go into that. But I'm 5 months pregnant, and I moved into this apartment. It was nice. Up some steps to the second floor. The lady before me had lived there for 5 years. So I figured it must be a pretty good apartment if somebody's going to live in it for 5 years. About 2 months after living there, going into my 7th month of pregnancy, I started noticing there was a lot of noise in the attic. I knew there was a crawl space in the hallway that got to the attic. A lot of wheelchairs rocking back and forth. And everybody that came to see me at that time also heard it. I remember one day taking a shower. The living room was in the front. Down the hallway, bedrooms on both sides, left and right. Down the hallway by the kitchen was the bathroom, was like at the end of the house. And I'm taking a shower one day, and it sounded like somebody running across my kitchen floor. Somebody very little. I didn't know what was going on. I just thought that maybe I was in an apartment that was haunted. What was I in for a rude awakening? I would sleep in the living room on the couch, because every time I would sleep in one of the bedrooms, it was horrible for me. I would have a lot of bad dreams, and I just couldn't sleep. So I dealt with that apartment all the way up till it was about a week before it was time for Alex to be born. We went and caught the cab to the hospital, went into labor, delivered Alexandria. They put her in my arm. She latched on to feed for milk not far after she was born. I counted 10 toes, 10 fingers. She seemed pretty normal to me. But now you also got to take into consideration, I'm totally blind. And learning how to put a t-shirt on without putting it on backwards, which I did, everybody was looking at me. I didn't really notice anything going on with her till the nurse had to come and get her. They needed to take her to the nursery. They took my baby to the nursery. I was in tears because I didn't realize or know that hospitals and doctors could be so cruel to children. I had no knowledge. I wasn't paying attention because I didn't think I had anything to worry about. So they took my baby to the nursery. You're going to hear Alex is behind me. So that's her. She's nonverbal. I brought her back about 5 hours later. At that time, I had went to sleep. They woke me up when they brought her back. And I put her to my chest to nurse. Alex wouldn't latch on. She never latched on again. I took my baby home 2 days later. We're in the apartment. Alex has something going on. She's jerking. She's jumping. And I'm constantly calling the doctor 4 and 5 times a day. There's something going on with my baby. What I want to know is, what can I do? Does she need some medicine, or do I need to bring her in? He said her nervous system has not matured yet. That's why she's jumping. At that time, Alex was about 7 days old. Still jumping, jerking, and screaming. She had colic. She had colic for the next 13 months. Screamed all day, all night. So, going into the second week that Alex was about 2 weeks old now, we were laying there and I'm rocking her, and I learned how to sing Yankee Doodle Went to Town, which was the only song that could calm her down a little bit, whilst I was bouncing like she was on a pony. Alexandria went into what they called respiratory distress and a grand mal seizure, all at the same time. I'm holding my baby in my arm, dialing 911 with the other hand. They airported my baby to a children's hospital. Wow. Haven't I learned a lot about Children's Hospital and all the targeting that they do there? It's further down the line in this story. So much to tell. For the next few years, we were in and out of the hospital, and I had hives from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. Alex would not go to sleep unless I was in the room with her. And I was right there, putting my finger to her little hand to let her know how much I loved her and how I would dedicate the rest of my life to make sure that she was okay. They took every kind of blood work, and they got enough of our DNA to start their own company. That's how much they took of us. And Alex made it through. She made it through, but little did I know that they have been experimenting on my baby since birth. 3 years old, Alexandria had ear infections a lot. So they took tubes out of her ears and her adenoids at the age of 3. Yeah. And that's another part of targeting. I didn't know. I wasn't paying attention. Nobody told me that something so horrible could happen to our children in America. I always looked at other countries where they didn't have the medical knowledge and education on how to take care of our children and help them get through different things. Elise was 4 when she started preschool. I found out, I got to go back for a minute. I found out Alexandria had cerebral palsy when she was 1 year old. I found out that my baby was not going to ever walk, and nor was she ever going to talk. This is what was told to me. At the age of 4, she went to preschool, unknowing to me that my baby has been experimented on her whole entire life, including from the womb. There is no telling what they did to me and her in that apartment when I was pregnant with her. A lot of weird things happened that are happening now in our life, and worse. And I had to go to the school because I didn't want her at the school by herself. So most of the time I was at school with her, sitting in the hallway while she was in the class. I didn't feel comfortable letting them change my baby's diaper. I didn't feel comfortable letting them be with my baby. It took me a couple years to feel comfortable with leaving my baby with anyone, teachers, staff, assistants, whatever. I wasn't comfortable, and I never knew why I wasn't. I thought, oh, it's just because I'm a mother and I love her and she needs protected. And boy, did I make a lot of mistakes. Things that I should have paid more attention to. I didn't pay attention to them because I thought we were living in a world where they cared about our children. They wanted to bring our children to a place where they can be more independent, regardless of what disability they have. She was a little fighter, even then. She'd pull her body up on my legs, and she'd stand there. And she always let me know, I love you. And thank you for being my mom. She always let me know that. I never knew that she was in a world that was so abusive. I remember writing a poem one day. It was really for her. And it's just amazing to me how God put something in your spirit that you don't even know. Nobody told me that a bus was coming. Nobody told me that there was something bad going to come into your life down the road. There was something bad going to come into your child's life down the road. Nobody told me that. But I felt it. And I felt it in my spirit. And I wrote this poem, How Do We Protect Our Children in a World So Cruel? Before I even realized that me and my baby, Alex, were targeted victims. It's a lot to learn, and it's a lot of time that we have to start paying attention from day one, because a lot of our targeting could come from our parents' stomach, and that's where it might begin, and that's where it might not begin. I'm going to leave you with this thought. This is Alex and My Story, Part 1. Part 2 coming. Subscribe and like. I'm going to leave you with this thought. God grant me the serenity to accept that I may be a targeted individual under inconsensual human experimentation for the rest of my life, and give me the courage to deal with it one day at a time. Till next time, bye.